Chapter 4. Hikaru flew as quickly as he could, keeping one eye on his surroundings and the other on his sensor screens. He had programmed the sensors with all the information available on Yukio, including his height, weight, voice pattern, and brain scan. If Takeshi's father were there, the sensors would find him. So far, what Hikaru had seen on the ground below sickened him. All of the houses and farms that had once dotted this side of the mountain had been torn down and replaced with factories that filled the sky with dark smoke. He could see human workers going into the mines, but without any protective gear on. Those mines weren't built for humans, thought Hikaru. They were designed for robot workers, who couldn't be hurt so easily. If they are making the prisoners do this dangerous work, who knows what else they're making them do? Hikaru flew on. His battle machine's vid recorders were on so he could capture everything he saw and show it to Sensei Kiken later. He flew over a repair yard where damaged fire vultures and thunder furies were being welded back together. He saw the huge doors of a hangar open and a newly constructed Sonic Phantom aircraft roll out. In the center of the compound, iron drones in their Sentry battle machines and R1 robot rammers practiced a gate assault. But what most caught Hikaru's attention was a large, square metal building perched high on the mountain slope. It was ringed with iron drones, and 2 Thunder Furies patrolled the gates. If the robots wanted to keep whatever was inside safe, they had picked the perfect spot. To reach this building, the human forces would first have to fight their way across one of the many bridges that connected the 2 sides of the mountain, and then cross the entire robot compound. Hikaru's thoughts were interrupted when the Stealth Hunter's sensor's screen lit up. Yukio was somewhere inside that building. Hikaru decided not to take any chances. To make sure the robots would not hear him coming, he cut off his boot jets and glided down toward the building. On the way down, Hikaru was reminded of something he had done as a little boy. One afternoon, he thought it would be fun to play with a hornet's nest. When he poked the nest with a stick, the angry insects swarmed out and stung him so many times he had to go to the hospital. And now I am about to upset another nest, but this one's filled with a much more dangerous creature, he thought. Let's hope history doesn't repeat itself. The building was well protected, but Hikaru saw one weakness. The robots had not prepared for an aerial attack. The robots must have thought that their Sonic Phantoms and Fire Vultures would stop any invaders before they got this close. Hikaru turned on his boot jets at the last moment so he could make a soft landing on the roof. He waited a moment before doing anything else. He wanted to be completely sure no robots had detected his arrival. Even though his stealth technology was still activated, he didn't want to take any foolish chances. What am I saying? He thought. This whole mission is foolish. He moved the Stealth Hunter carefully across the rooftop until his sensors showed Yukio was alone in the room right beneath him. He set his electro sword on low intensity and used it to cut a hole in the roof. Using a mini tractor beam, he caught the piece of roof before it could fall and set it aside. Then he dropped into the building. Immediately, Yukio spun around. "Who's there?" Through the cockpit window, he saw Yukio in what appeared to be a laboratory. Yukio was wearing a white lab coat and studying a damaged battle machine. "Shh," whispered Hikaru through his suit microphone. "Keep quiet. I'm in stealth mode. I'm here to rescue you." "No," said Yukio. "This is another robot trick." "Yukio, it's Hikaru. Trust me. Is there any way you can block this room off from the robot's sensors?" The scientist nodded, still not completely convinced. "Yes. One of my repair devices causes interference. The robots won't be able to scan while it's running." "Turn it on," said Hikaru. Yukio switched on the device, which made a loud hum. As soon as it was active, Hikaru switched off his stealth technology. The Stealth Hunter, with Hikaru inside, suddenly became visible. Yukio jumped at the sudden appearance of his son's friend. "Hikaru? Is that really you?" he asked, peering into the cockpit. "Is Takeshi with you?" "No," replied Hikaru, "but I'm going to bring you, your wife, and your daughter to him." Yukio shook his head. "It's impossible. There are too many guards, too many battle machines. You'll never make it. I don't know how you got here, but you must go back before it's too late." right. It is impossible, Hikaru said, smiling. That's what makes it worth doing. He glanced around. There were all sorts of devices and battle machine parts scattered around the lab. Yukio, before we leave, I have to ask you something, he said. I saw a fire vulture do a maneuver in the air that only you would know how to do. Have you been helping the robots? Please tell me you aren't working for those junk heaps. Yukio's face filled with anger. I didn't have a choice. The robots hooked me up to a cerebro scanner and stole top secret information from me. I would never betray my home or my people. Why would the robots need to do that? Asked Hikaru. They have computer minds, much faster than ours, and maybe even smarter too. But they have no imagination, Yukio said. No creativity. They cannot come up with anything new. All they can do is rebuild their old battle machines and try to make them better. Every new device they have created, the Sonic Phantom, the Raging Storm, all of those were based on my ideas. Well, they won't be able to steal from you anymore, said Hikaru. Where is your family? Yukio told him that his wife, Akina, and his daughter, Tamika, were just down the hall in the living quarters. But we can't go out the laboratory door. As soon as we open it, an alarm will sound. Who says we're going out the door? Hikaru answered with a smirk as he triggered his electro sword. Sensors told him there were no robots on the other side of the wall. With 2 swift strokes, he carved a hole in the wall that led to the corridor. Just as he had done before, he carefully pulled the loose piece into the lab and set it down on the floor. Reactivating his battle machine stealth mode, he piloted the stealth hunter through the hole. Strange, he thought. No alarms, no sirens, no explosions. I'd have thought the robots would have this place wired against any intruders. What's going on? There was no time to think about it now. The stealth hunter's sensors picked up 2 human readings from the room at the end of the hall. Akina and Tamika. A single sentry guarded the room. Hikaru indicated that Yukio should stay in the shadows while he maneuvered the invisible stealth hunter a bit closer. He took aim with his laser rifle and fired. The shot was right on target. It struck a joint in the sentry armor and hit the control circuits inside, fusing the battle machine so it could not move. The sentry still managed to fire a missile at the stealth hunter. Hikaru frantically tried to remember what Ryo had taught him about blocking robot missiles. Sonics! That was it! The right sound broadcast over the stealth hunter radio could jam a sentry missile. Turning up his radio volume, he triggered a high-pitched whine over the speakers. The missile wavered in its flight, then turned straight up and blasted through the ceiling. Hikaru looked up in time to see it explode high in the sky. Well, if the metal monsters didn't know I was here before, they know now, he said to himself. Better move fast! Hikaru disabled the sentry's weapon systems with 2 quick laser rifle shots. He won't cause any more trouble, Hikaru thought. He used the stealth hunter's right arm to knock the locked door off its hinges. Yukio rushed in to reassure his wife and his daughter that everything was all right. Yukio! Cried Akina. I was so afraid. I thought it was the robots coming for us. They'll never threaten you again, Yukio replied. Hikaru's going to help us. We'll be free soon. I wish, said Hikaru. We still have to get out of here, and it won't be easy. You 3 will have to hang on to the outside of the stealth hunter. I can't use stealth technology. It drains too much power. And combined with your weight, it will slow down our flight. I'll just have to outfly everything on the base. Yukio and his family followed the stealth hunter back out into the corridor. They stopped below the hole blown in the roof by the sentry missile. Alarms were sounding all over the base. Fire vultures could be seen circling above, waiting for their prey to emerge. Grab hold of the battle machine and don't let go! Hikaru triggered the battle machine's boot jets, but right away he could see that the weight of the extra 3 passengers was going to slow the stealth hunter way down. As soon as he piloted the stealth hunter back up through the roof, Hikaru was reminded of the nest of angry hornets again. Robots were everywhere! Hikaru ran a quick scan of the building he had just left. There were no humans or robots left inside. Hikaru located the electro furnace in the center of the building with his sensors, fired a laser bolt, and then pushed his speed to the maximum. The building exploded, sending fire and smoke high into the air and knocking the fire vultures off course. "What's the matter, canheads?" Hikaru asked. "Didn't learn flying through big explosions at robot school?" Now the entire base was alive with activity. A hail of laser fire erupted from the ground, forcing the stealth hunter to fly in a zigzag pattern to avoid being hit. More fire vultures were rocketing up in pursuit, their flamethrowers hurling jets of fire. Worst of all, a sonic phantom had taken off and was closing in fast on the stealth hunter. The powerful aircraft was one of the most frightening weapons in the robot army. "I have to turn and fight it. There's no other way." Hikaru broadcast to Yukio through the battle machine speakers. "I am going to leave you and your family on the ridge. You'll be safe there for now." "No," said Akina. "You mustn't sacrifice yourself for us. Just leave us and go before they capture you." "Wait," said Yukio. "The Sonic Phantom was built from ideas they stole from me. I know how you can defeat it." "Then talk fast," said Hikaru. "We don't have much time." Hey guys, be sure to check out the description below for more videos related to Exo-Force, including reviews and a light brick tutorial on my other channel. Thanks.